I
Hello,
remember
hey, how's everyone doing
when I was
today?
caught, and a few
Hey,
months before that,
what is going
the
on?
way I was caught was November of 2009. I had made an appointment with a client, had stolen a check from them, deposited the check into my bank account in northern New Jersey, and there was a new bank teller working that day. And the individual, she just simply deposited it twice into my account, a very innocent mistake. She hit the button or she did whatever she did. So they had to reverse the transaction and they had to then put it back in the right way. But because of the magnitude and the size of the check, it was a $250,000 check.
Damn.
It flagged, made a red flag to the back office. And so they started investigating and researching. And what I came to learn was that that launched a bit of an investigation into all of my checks and dealings with customers and with Prudential. That led to a 3-month investigation, which came to a head on February 11th of 2010, which is also the day of my last day, February 11th. And I remember receiving a phone call from my managing director, and he said, Dan, I think we have a problem. I said, what's the problem, Bob? He said, the Prudential Home Office would like to talk to you about a $100,000 check and some other checks that you're signing for clients. Why are clients giving you checks? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I knew exactly what he was talking about.
That is
He said, I think you
awful.
better come down here at 4 o'clock. There's some people that want to talk to you, including the FBI. I said, I can't make it today at 4 o'clock. He said, if you're not here at 4, we'll be to your house at 4:30. He goes, I recommend you come here. I don't think you want to make a scene. And he was right. I didn't want to make a scene. You know, at that time, I have young kids. At that time, everyone's in the dark. I'm in good standing in my community because nobody can tell if someone has a hidden gambling addiction oftentimes until it's really late. And I went down to that office on February 11, 2010. And for the next 5 hours, I sat in a room and I admitted to everything I had done. They had done their research. They had a stack of papers that were about 3 inches thick. They knew everything I had done. And I admitted and confessed to each one. They even forgot a victim that I even brought up. I needed to clear the slate. There was a point that felt really good. It felt so good to get this weight off my shoulders, but it was also really scary. And I knew it would be tremendously hard for my family, my grandparents. I was married at the time, my wife at the time, my mom, you know, everyone, you know?
Thank you for the like on your tweet.
Like, it feels so good to get this weight off your shoulders, finally to be able to breathe. But now it's like the unknown. You know, with gambling, every day I knew what I was going to get. I knew every day I was going to wake up and gamble, and there was some comfort in that. And I knew I was going to gamble until my last dollar was gone. And there was a sense of relief when that happened. As a person with a gambling problem, whenever I had money in my account, I was always thinking about what would I gamble on?
Hello.
What would I bet on next? And there was this constant preoccupation. I couldn't be a good father. I couldn't be a good husband. I couldn't be a good community member. I couldn't be a good friend. I just wanted to gamble and think about gambling every waking hour. Well, when that last dollar was gone, there was a sense of relief. And this was that similar sense of relief. All the garbage is now out there. For the next 18 months, the wheels of justice turned very slowly. From February 11th of 2010 until August 19th of 2011, I waited 18 months before I was sentenced to 6 years state prison.
Damn.
I admitted to everything I had done. Prudential made all of the victims whole, and that helped tremendously in my case. Prudential repaid all of the victims of my criminal activity, and I'm very thankful for that. None of those people deserved any of what I had done. You know, they came across me at a time in my life when I was going through terrible addiction. I should have addressed it. I should have addressed September 11th. There's just so many layers to it. Looking backwards now, that can't be fixed, but I'm thankful that Prudential reimbursed them. I remember getting sentenced on August 19, 2011. You know, I remember some of the hardest days of my life was going through September 11th, and then at the time telling my twins, I had boy-girl twins, telling them when they were 6 years old that Daddy was going on a business trip, and I didn't know when I'd be back.
Most a simple invention, I am sure, but
that was hard.
Others. All the more reason to rescue the
gone for the full
abductees
6
with all
years.
haste. Fairness for the faithless.
Between incarceration, being away, I was at a work camp, I was on a supervised release program, I was on parole, probation for about 4.5 years total in the system. I remember getting out and kind of getting off the program completely in 2000, I guess that'd be 2015, 2016 timeframe. It felt so good to be free again. No restrictions. You know, I had taken that time to work on myself. I knew I couldn't gamble. I know I don't have a healthy relationship with gambling. If I want to be a good person and a good human being, I know I can't gamble. It doesn't work in my life. I don't know what moderation is. I don't understand how to, I don't even want to be a part of gambling, but I want to be a part of the solution. And I want to be a part of helping people who struggle with life. People who struggle with drugs, alcohol, gambling, stress, whatever it is. I knew I liked people. I like working with people, I like talking with people, I like relating to people, and having prison experience and being someone, a person with an addiction, because I'm a person first. And that's the one thing I always remind people that I talk to. We are people first. We're a person with an addiction. And when we talk to people in recovery, when we talk to the family members, love the person, but you don't love their behavior. And that is something I echo all the time for anyone who struggles with addiction. We love the person, but we don't love that behavior. And then we have to separate the two. I knew when I came out I wanted to help people who might struggle with gambling. And so coming out of prison was hard because the first job I had was working at a little mom and pop barbecue restaurant in northern New Jersey, making $5 an hour, serving pork sandwiches, barbecue pork sandwiches. And I remember going to work in the morning. My youngest daughter at the time would see me put on my gray shirt with a little picture of a pig. And it said, you know, something like, "We make pigs fly." Whatever it was, something silly. And she would always say, "Daddy, you going to work at the piggy place?" That's what she would always say. And it was humbling, yet it was just a reminder of where I was. And I said, "Yep, going to work, I'll be home soon." I didn't get upset. There's no time for that. And so I would just do what I had to do. And then I started moving through, and I was blessed with an opportunity to speak to a couple of groups who were Gamblers Anonymous Fellowship. I joined that, speaking in some outpatient groups, just kind of start giving back, volunteering my time. And then as gambling expanded in New Jersey in 2013 through 2018, internet gambling, sports betting, I was blessed with an opportunity to work for a nonprofit to help educate and reduce the risk of gambling harm in the state of New Jersey. And I ended up becoming the assistant executive director over the last several years there before leaving for a new opportunity. That was 1 year ago where I joined Epic Risk Management as the head of prevention in the United States, working primarily with the NCAA and college student athletes to reduce gambling harm. Gambling is growing, and I want to be a part of the solution so that other people don't feel that they have to hide and don't feel that they have to talk to. So we go around to different colleges all around the country, engaging student athletes, sharing my lived experience, my story, and hoping that it resonates. Yeah, I can easily look backwards and say, oh, it's my dad's fault, or it's my mom's fault for leaving, or whatever it might be, but that's not the case. You know, we have the power to make choices. In the midst of an addiction, when I was going through the deepest throes of addiction, yeah, my brain was hijacked in the midst of that, but I have choices. I take ownership. There was a lot of things that I could have done differently. When I look backwards, and we can't fix the past, when I look backwards, I immediately should have taken advantage of services and any resources that were available for people who were downtown on September 11th. I chose not to. And some of that is a function of your upbringing and your culture, right? How do I know how to share my feelings if I've never modeled, I've never seen it modeled? I didn't see my parents married. I never saw arguments. I never saw conversation and communication. I didn't know how that stuff worked. So there's a part of me that'll say, if I'm never taught how to do something, or if I don't develop a life skill, how do I then go ahead and develop that? And I pushed people away. You know, there was a lot where I wanted to live this Jekyll and Hyde life. I had this ego. I had this competitive spirit. I wanted to do everything bigger than everyone else. I mean, that's part of my personality trait. In the midst of my gambling, I had to have, if my friends had bet $100, I had to bet $500. If they ordered one dinner, I had to order two. I mean, I always had to one-up somebody else. And you look at some of the personality traits for people who struggle with addiction and gambling, and it's that competitive drive. It's that fear of failure. It's that risk-taking mentality, all of which has just been a part of my life. It's part of my DNA. And that's why addiction is so complex. Right? It's biology, it's genetics, it's who you grew up around, who you make friends with. But I do take ownership. I take ownership because I need to do that for myself so that I can forgive myself as well, in that I'm a flawed human being. So I'm going to make mistakes every day. I hurt people along the way. I ask forgiveness from a lot of people, some of which I didn't get, but that's out of my control. And I think about that serenity thing all knowing what we can control, knowing what's out of our control, having that wisdom is no different between the two. But I had to take it. I mean, it starts with taking ownership, accepting accountability and responsibility, and then finding a sense of usefulness and purpose in my life that was lacking for so long. I had so much shame and so much guilt. Until I was able to start talking about it, it started freeing me from that mental prison that I was still in.
Looking for gamblers to interview. Off we go. They don't want to talk. It's that, one of the things I've heard in meetings over and over again. Gamblers. I haven't switched that on.
Yeah. It's funny. I often hear people talk about that. I've even heard renowned doctors talk about that. Once the addiction switches on, it stays on, and that's across the board for all of us. What's interesting with gambling, what I mentioned before, is the fact that it's hard to stop an activity where you're getting rewarded every so often. And if you look, the brain of a person with a gambling problem lights up in the similar regions as someone who has cocaine addiction. The similar areas are activated. And so all of a sudden, I'm not putting anything in my body, yet I'm getting such a buzz and such a high off this behavioral process. So it impacts the brain. And it's not just the winning. Gambling, a lot of people think gambling is a money problem. Gambling's an emotional problem. People with gambling problems are either using it for action or escape. I started as an action gambler. I love the rush. But after September 11th, I became an escape gambler because I didn't know how to deal with life.
The adrenaline of the risk.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. It's the dopamine boost that you keep getting and that adrenaline. It's the anticipation as well as the participation. So it's thinking about what the next bet will be, thinking about what the outcome will be, and also then actively watching it take place. So if you're wagering on the internet or betting on sports, nowadays you can bet on sports. You can put a new bet every 20 seconds. You can bet on the next serve in a tennis match, the next pitch in a baseball. So to get that granular with it, I'm anticipating what it will be. I'm hoping for a good outcome. If it happens, great, it registers, and I move on to the next one. But if it doesn't, I'm still buzzing. I'm still feeling really high. I'm just going to move on to the next one anyway. So either way, I'm getting an adrenaline rush and a dopamine hit. So here's a couple of issues in the United States with gambling, is that there's no federal funding to support treatment or prevention. We have funding for drug and alcohol prevention and treatment and services. There's no federal funding for gambling. It's all done at the state level. So the research is limited. But the latest research estimates that roughly 2% of Americans have a full-blown gambling disorder. Now, from a percentage perspective, that's not a lot. But if you think about how many people in the United States, 3 billion people in the United States, 2%, with that 600,000 people or something like that, I think the numbers are growing. Oh, actually, no, it's higher. 6 million. 6 million. So the numbers are growing, though, and here's where we're starting to see concern. Since 2018, sports betting is now starting to become legalized state by state. PASPA was repealed that allowed each state to decide how and if they want to enforce, regulate, and govern sports betting within its own state borders. New Jersey was one of the first ones to market with that. What we saw in New Jersey, people calling 800 Gambler Helpline, the number of people with sports betting related problems ballooned from 4% annually up to about 16% annually. Fourfold increase. So we're starting to see more people starting to exhibit gambling related harms. We're also pushing it out to the younger demographic. Our college students, people in high school who shouldn't even be gambling yet are partnering with their older siblings or parents and placing bets on sporting contests. We're normalizing the expansion of gambling amongst our youth. I anticipate we're going to see those numbers grow as time goes on. That's why we have to get into the schools at an early age. Prevention's all about starting soon. Schools allocate funding for prevention for drug and alcohol. But when you talk about gambling, it's just not a problem that they see. Because you can't see a gambling problem that way. Yet we know people walk around struggling with gambling addiction. And it's the loved ones who also suffer because gambling has some of the largest financial consequences of the major addictions, as well as some of the highest suicidal ideation and attempt. I'm thankful I never think about suicide people. That's something that never crossed my mind. And I've lost friends. Since September 11th, when I lost a lot of friends, I lost 2 more to suicide after September 11th. They couldn't deal with life. And then along my journey of recovery in the last 12 years, I've lost friends to suicide from gambling addiction because they just can't take it. I remember one in particular was at a meeting in North Jersey some number of years ago on July 3rd, and that's for Independence Day. And I remember this young man was a Wall Street executive like myself, in recovery, was struggling, was still living at home, couldn't move out because he had no money left. And he grew up in a family where they gambled every Friday night. So he's at a GA meeting trying to get well, and he would go home to an environment where they were playing poker. And it was a family where it was the father, the uncle, his siblings, and every time he'd come in, they'd say, come on, sit down, you're playing. And they'd force him at the table. He couldn't take it anymore. He ended up taking his own life on July 4th. And I remember him talking about giving his therapy that night, talking about freedom from addiction, independence. And he says, I think there's only one way I can get free of this stuff. And I just remember that. None of us knew at the time that he was talking about completing suicide.
I hear the flight story.
Looking backwards, that's probably that was.
I love you say that's
I'm thankful. I think coming out of September 11th, having opportunities in my life from baseball to working in the city to meeting just amazing people every day and hearing what people can accomplish with what little they have at times, I think I'm just thankful. I think we need to really work on listening more than you speak. That's something, I'm here talking with you today, but it's something I really try to do because people just want a voice, they want to be heard, and they want to have an outlet, and that's something that I realized that I don't think I had. So I try to give that. I try to give more compassion versus comparison. That's a big thing that I focus on today. When we talk about social media and the age of technology, we see so many people falling for that comparison model. I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not as good as blank, right? Comparing yourself to someone else. Letting people know that you are worthy. You do deserve to be here. You are right where you're supposed to be in this moment. And just trying to work with people to help give them hope and encouragement. One of the things I realized, I was very thankful that I was reconnected with my higher power, spending time back in the church, something my grandparents instilled in me at an early age, but I always revolted at it. Confused it for me. I didn't want to be a part of religion. I didn't want anything to do with religion. What I realized over time, and one of my biggest takeaways, is that it's not religion. And in recovery from addiction, we need to form relationships. Because when we're in active addiction, we want isolation. Relationship is the furthest thing from our mind when we're in active addiction because of the shame and stigma. So today, as I go around the country and as I work in the field that I do, and I'm very blessed and thankful for that, I've helped people focus on relationship, help people realize that they are good enough and they're worthy enough, and that it's okay to not be
Nice save.
and you always have a trusted friend by your side. Great conversation. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll not have another one of those!
I don't believe it.
Thank you. Sweet Tarl, a fire rat!
Bless you. The rest dragged beneath a ritual.
I got it.
Assassin nearby!
Never mind.
Strangler's dead!
Never mind.
Hope you don't mind me saying.
Loner's artist? What is she to me?
Well, it's not what she is to you, but what you are to her.
I don't follow.
Yeah, I can see that. And of whole thing's an twist on top of everything else.
Blightstormer! End his chance! Seal vermin among them!
The many ways of magic! We'll show that fire rat how it's done!
Ha! Globadier! Hear it! Gatabada!
Like a broken toy!
Gatabada!
Magic and Globadier!
Look at that! A ratty flexing in you with shield!
Ambush a bit! I'll enjoy this!
Oh, see me now.
Hark! I hear a Blightstormer's chant. At last, ammunition! Take that! Alliance, help! A Globadier! Oh, open drinking! Vile things! Look out! Globadier down! Potion, let me bigger. Listen. The ritual is complete, and the lives of innocents snuffed out. I must. To what end? Oh, be quiet. We've dealt with bigger
and Sid. Max and Sid. Where are you guys from originally? Max?
I'm from Milwaukee,
Milwaukee.
Wisconsin.
I'm from Macon, Georgia.
Macon, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about your families growing up. Max, you had mom and dad?
I was adopted by two cops from Russia. Just bad all around.
It's a
Adopted
fine
from
day
Russia.
today. Good weather
parents
for
were Russian?
clobbering rat.
Oh no, my adopted parents. I never met my real parents.
But your adopted parents? How was your relationship with them?
Very not good.
That's wonderful.
I'm bad at talking. I guess they kind of more so wanted a puppy, and they weren't ready for the actual dog. I guess you could say.
I mean, what kind of childhood did you have? Was it abuse?
Yeah. Well,
Nitty gritty details, dude.
thanks.
Oh, we're here.
I don't know. I can't talk. I fucked it up.
Okay,
How was your childhood?
my childhood was, I had a fucking great childhood, comparatively, especially to Max. You know, Max's, childhood is something like a horror movie. And I have parents that still to this day fuck with me. They love me. Of all people that deserve to like not give a fuck about me and have written me off, my parents haven't. So they're cool as fuck. I just, I was blessed, and like despite their best efforts, I turned out to be kind of like the classic definition of a fuck up. But,
Did you call yourself a fucker?
I wouldn't call myself a fuck up. I call myself I don't know. I've made the best. And it could have been worse. I could have gone a lot worse. It's I see like
Sounds like a good childhood.
Oh yeah, no, I had a great childhood. My parents, despite, like I said, despite their best efforts, I fucking, there's the old saying, mama tried, it's definitely true. My mom tried, my dad tried until he couldn't, until he's just like, you know what? My dad growing up was my best friend, Like, I was like, it's like when you like in kindergarten, they get you to do like these
As I am
assignments and
now
stuff because
affirmed
you're
as
too
a true
young to not
herald
really
of
to really
Sigma
need to do any
held
like
and
actual
hammer,
schoolwork.
I
One of the things I was like,
congratulate
my mom showed me this a while back. It was me and three best friends, and number one was my dad. That was my best friend. I still love my dad to death. My dad's the reason that like I have any redeeming qualities.
And you took to drugs at an early age, I assume?
Really early, yeah, really early. I was
How'd that happen?
do what?
How'd that happen?
Easy and nosy, and easy accessibility, or not easy accessibility, but I was dipping into people's stashes that were not. My parents did nothing like give me weed or anything.
Thank you
like
for
that.
joining.
And stuff like that. And I would dip into his stash and end up getting caught one summer at Boy Scout camp.
That there were no hardcore addicts in your family?
Oh no. I've got some harder addicts in my family, but I definitely have gone the hardest.
There were addicts in your
There were, but never anyone like. No, never anyone that was just come back and that would give it to me. It was just people that. It was never something you put on a platter and handed to me. Dope was never really something like I had to go look for it. I made a conscious decision in my mind. Yo, I'm gonna go fucking smoke meth. I'm gonna go fucking shoot heroin. Because, I was like this little edgy kid that thought that Sid Vicious and G.G. Allen were the two coolest motherfuckers in the world, which they still fucking are, in my opinion. And that's what I wanted to do. I was glad to make jokes like, yeah, I got heroin because it's the punk rock thing to do. Now I'm stuck.
You're the black sheep of your family?
Yeah, you can absolutely say that. You can absolutely say that.
Why do you think that is?
Because I like to because I don't know when to say no, I'm good. I don't know when to say no. I don't know when to say no, that's enough. Or no, I don't need to do that because anything I like, if I like the way something makes me feel, I'm gonna do it to the nth degree. I'm gonna keep on doing it until it kills me.
You know if you've been diagnosed as ADHD?
Oh yeah, fuck. Yeah, that was always like that was the first one was ADHD. Then it was then I got hit with schizoaffective and bipolar, which was really more of just a byproduct of budding meth addiction. I was doing my best to keep on the rap with the guys of, I'm in psychosis because I'm hearing voices.
in the depths of a nearby
What is your drug today?
Do what?
What is your
will
drug
not
today?
allow
Let's
such
see,
heresy to
opiates just
continue
because it's hard
The
to
mind must be
get.
purged with
It's hard to get a
fire
prescription
and
for painkillers when you have
steel.
drug charges on your record and meth.
It means fentanyl and crystal meth?
Fentanyl and meth, yeah, that's my go-to. The old wham bam, thank you, man.
And Max, you're using as well.
Yeah. I used to be more of a stimulant type of person just because it made being social a little bit easier, but after,
Purple team
years of
damage
alcoholism,
To tell me what a
I
purple
was
team
chronic
damage beam
pain,
is,
so I'm
sir.
more of an opiate type guy.
It's like a 4-way purple beam.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
It's good that you go home and we're homeless, so we only got one option.
I'm dope sick in a Denny's bathroom.
You'll
guys
see
are
it.
on the streets.
It's very obvious.
For the most part, yeah. We if squats are available, like
Oops.
just
Right.
Bushy.
You're wounded,
like bushes,
Trooper.
yeah. Sometimes. We,
Nice.
When you've been in LA.
we just got back downtown. A couple days ago.
Been bopping around SoCal for like
Yeah. Went back and forth between Riverside County and Venice, and sometimes downtown.
Where else in the country have you been?
Actually, been more places.
places. I'm more used to the
What?
East Coast and stuff.
Fuck, this is brother.
I've been all the way from places from Macon. We have so weird with yeah, sometimes. But I've hopped from Macon go to this like downtown right near where I used to hang out.
Yeah.
Hop from Macon to Atlanta.
I do appreciate the
at
boon
night,
of speed.
be up there early in the
Speed.
morning.
Excessive
And
Just
then
don't
from
know
there,
what
you
it
It kind
is.
of branches out as a rail hub, and like, but I've been up the East Coast. I didn't actually hop all the way out west, but I usually just leave a little gimmick that I used to use back then. I don't know, I've stopped by myself and saying I'm gonna get sober these days because I realize if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. But I do rehab. I'm not west. Oh yeah, we have. I've done rehab. I've been on rehab. But another cool thing is they'll fly you out. Florida, whether that's out here in California, whatever.
The cities that you hung out in, like you hang out in LA.
Atlanta, Venice, and New Orleans. Yeah. New York City's nice. I wish I could spend more time there. The road, I see it. Those things are more nice.
It's always weird to me how hook rats are like tankier than
Like a
everything
couple months.
else in this game.
I kind of lost track of time.
How would you compare that to the other cities you
There's a
did?
gas rat. Watch for the
Like
throw.
LA?
Sorry, what?
How would you compare Kensington to Skid Row?
Huh? Honestly, he actually told me that Skid Row is a lot like Kensington, and
Very similar.
we came out here. And we weren't really like hanging around that much. Like we were here for like an hour just trying to find drugs for
Yeah.
a little bit. But
Look at this.
what?
Oh, it has to do with Twitch, I see. So you're telling me you have a Twitch chat that's gonna get me
I
fucking
honestly
murdered?
like, can't really compare them. I didn't really spend enough time around Skid Row. There's a lot more mess there. So that's like Skid Row.
Oh yeah, there's a variety of drugs in Skid Row, whereas like Kensington's all fentanyl.
Well, yeah, Kensington's fentanyl. They do got like shitty mess and crack. A little bit of a. But everybody goes straight to the fatty acids now.
Yeah. Fentanyl's it's a drug that
I guess it's just like the like more prominent drugs makes
Are we
them
grabbing
like,
tomes
drastically
or
different
anything?
from each other.
I mean, I guess we can, but yeah, it's up to you.
And the Block Boys do. Over on the East Coast or in the Midwest, you got Block Boys. They'll post up. That's their block that they sell on
Open air drug markets.
open air drug markets. Out here, there's just fucking. I know a guy who might know a guy. You either get ripped off, or if you're Max, you fucking end up having to hit someone over the head with a saucepan.
A mini cast iron skillet.
Then cast iron skillet too.
How long have you guys been together?
It's been like 6 months.
Is that here?
How we met was we were rehab in Redlands, California. With, a place called New Origins, right at rehab. You know, it's a sports specialist from my childhood heroes, Andy Roy, first year. So I got to hang out with him for a while. I thought. And then Max hits me up on Facebook and he's like, yo, hey, I'm with a bunch of friends that are a bunch of alcoholic assholes that are drinking all the time, and I don't drink anymore. And I just want to hang out with someone sober. I was like, all right, cool. And so we linked up one night, hung out, had a great time. I didn't relapse. We got home 15 minutes late for first. And they go, yo, you're late. And they just go, yeah, my phone died. That's why I was late. I didn't have first time. And they're like, well, I'm going to get a job to get his test. That's why I was passed his test. That's why I was the director calls me. He's like, hey,
I
so
see.
clinical director
Most
wants us
unfortunate.
to do tweet property restrictions. Or you push an envelope. I push the envelope. Look at that. That's kind of my MO. Well, either the clinical director wants you to do a tweet property restriction, or you can do immediate discharge. I say go ahead and grab paperwork and get my shit. Can't. Tweet property restriction would have entailed going to my groups during the day, going to my allotted AA meetings a week, I don't think Ron. Ron, the director, was a great guy. He's a fucking genuinely out there to help people. Same with a lot of the other staff there, but I think the clinical director, who I'd never met the clinical director, I don't think, other than just in passing. So
The problem is more psychological.
my problem is definitely the behavioral thing, and then drugs are drugs just drugs are it's like other people tell me like, wow, I had no clue you're very well spoken, you're very educated. I'm like, well, no, yeah, I mean, I despite my best friends, I learned some shit in school, but like, don't judge a book by its cover, you know, I say it's good. Oh, I didn't know you were so presumptuous and kind of stupid, honestly. It's like,
How far do you went?
Just 2 years in 9th grade, and he dropped out probably a couple months after 16.
There's like no health
Do
potions.
you think you're on the streets in this situation, the drugs, all that?
Someone give health to Kubu.
You know, my parents put me in a homeless shelter when I was 16. After like, I guess like a few years of like abuse and like being psychologically terrorized, that kind of definitely put up all everything. Yeah, it was mostly my mother and then my dad being like a dumbass.
I feel like, you know, there's a lot of crazy shit, there's a lot of life, it's slowly a little worn out. So I just, I don't know.
And PTSD years, I'm dead.
Yeah, PTSD and several add-on some shit, you know, pretty much my adult life either locked up or in rehab or on the streets. You know, I find it, you know, gay. Like, you know, I was my mom which means that's what we're going after. And yeah, I've been using it. I haven't lost myself in anything. I was using it, struggling the fuck out, gone off the rails within a couple days. But thanks to, you know, having something to focus on, having a reason to, like, you know, really, like, use a decent, go rob somebody, go to harm, go spend, go bum some money off someone, or you try to, like, you know, work for my money. Go home and put music and stuff. So, you know, I haven't asked my life, really been something like that. Like, you know, like, yeah, but I'll get into somebody that doesn't work in that. There's always that situation. I'll get into kind of this, but
Nice.
with the situation that I did, because if it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't have met someone who's genuinely of my fucking life. So.
Yeah, we might have fucked up. That's long. I stayed clean for a while.
Yeah, no, we stayed clean for fucking a month on the streets. Yeah, you know, I've never been clean for that long outside of rehab by myself.
Are you on psych medications?
I was for most of my life, but not anymore. So I take one medication once a day for some byproduct of recklessness and drug addiction. I find I'm actually far happier off my psychiatrist.
Happy often.
Oh yeah, I'm far happier. I'm glad my friends doing great. I'm not eating a fucking horse and a half of food every day. I got fucking busting yourself out with cheeseburgers, man. Yeah, but I'd rather fucking like, yeah, I'd rather fucking just absolutely just eat. I eat and all that stuff. I don't go hungry. I refuse to. I'll steal from a store, like a corporate store, or steal from a mom and pop corner store, nothing like that. I want from people. If I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat though. But a lot of times I need to get good food and trash cans. You know, if you like stick this in the trash, it's in the trash.
Patrick, do you describe yourself as happy? Is that something?
Nice.
In some aspects, yes.
Stop meandering and get back here.
So I think a lot less. There's less things to worry about. I never learned how to behave as an adult. I've never lived indoors as an adult.
One of us will stay with the car. Another must walk, and we end this in moments.
I can't say that, like, I really. I don't know how to put my thoughts in there. I can't say that I ever want to, like, I guess, be better off financially, because I never have been. I don't really see a need to.
You could be living some form of this lifestyle forever?
Probably my life. Hopefully in the future without drugs.
God damn it, these monster spawns. Jesus Christ.
I was just pissed off at this point too. Like we're with that being in downtown, that's why it's like awesome that we ran into y'all. Cause we're planning on heading to
Yeah, it's generally not this bad, so.
But still, all that shit together. I thought I bought that was on our bullet head. I've gotten this shit together and it was in southeastern Colorado.
Nice.
Be able to sleep inside for YouTube, hang out with my brother Charlie.
What are you guys afraid of?
Little more context.
I
What
spy
are
a
you afraid of
potion.
in your life? Are you afraid of dying? Are you afraid of ever getting clean? Are you afraid of...
I give you that. Your capacity for slaughter makes you a useful ally.
Useful, but still not
You got a small friend group. I'm
Is
afraid of,
no
like,
one pushing the cart?
oh yeah, the ones that have been they love me too much to leave me. I'm not feeling like some other people maybe stick around for entertainment. I talked to my sister on the phone the other day. She was talking about how one of my best friends, still I'd say probably my best friend in the fucking world, and he's the band, and one of the shows they were like, oh, I haven't seen you in years. How's your brother doing? And she's like, why do you want to know? You don't like how I in my whole time I got a really shitty reputation.
Jesus Christ.
An asshole. And you know, like people from my sister says people come up to me like, oh, they'll be like, oh, how's your brother doing? Just like tell you, oh, well, at least I'm not as bad as he. He's still, you know, it's actually kind of like subconscious others. Like some people come like,
A roadhouse approaches.
like when the last time you saw him, you called him a piece of shit, once you was just spreading bullshit about him and stuff. I mean, yeah, I've been making jokes. I've had a reputation as a deadly drug addict and a piece of shit. But not all of it. It's like definitely get I'm not saying I'm insane, but I mean, God no. But I have a reputation for that's a bit more.
Deceiving?
No one
I
pushing
don't know. I think definitely that part, yeah.
Feel misunderstood?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why I guess in my life, my philosophy is that if someone like, unless they outright are like, come up and being a piece of shit, like truly, I probably wasn't being good at reading people, but still, you know, I can be wrong. But unless someone's just outright being a piece of shit to me from the jump, I can give them a chance. I can give everyone a chance that I wish someone would give to me.
Is there ever anything you guys want to do with your lives that you passed on to do this?
I want to be an artist. I love drawing. I love illustration and stuff like that. Awesome musician. So
Like if you did something creative that you might straighten you out, you think about the drugs?
no. I don't think anything but a genuine desire to do just that, to get off dope and to get off drugs entirely would ever do that for me. I don't see it as a necessity right now in my life. If at any point, like God forbid, like, you know, we're pretty sure, like, you know, if at any point I decide to, like, you know, adopt, because I don't want to bring, there's enough kids that need parents in this world, I don't want to bring anyone in the world. But, if I ever adopt a kid, that'd be the reason I just shut my shit the fuck up. I got good money that I was going to adopt before. Probably like 11 or 12 kids about the time they stopped being adopted.
Actually, is that a dream of yours as well, to adopt?
Oh yeah, I want to adopt a little newborn kid. That is what I like to do.
We said around 30. We said about 30. We're probably gonna start to settle down. If we make it 30, we're gonna settle down. Fucking adopt. Kids who's probably at around 10 to 12 years old. They're just days they stop getting adopted, basically. And they're look, they will give you a fucking chance. Like, you know, come on. That's what it, you know, like this guy, especially someone who looks like me. Probably be able to do someone. I've been through it. I've been through it right here and come out. Come on. Take yourself and walk around. That's one of my good buddies. You know, he's someone to get it off the ground. My dad said, "Put the bottom of the fucking place."
You do have help.
One day, yeah.
God
One day, I
damn.
just not so much my hope, but I know I will. If I ever one day I'm gonna do either get sober, die, or you fucking you fade into you know, drug addiction department. I think getting sober is definitely the most likely of all. That's the goal. It's so fucking bad. I admire it.
You have dreams of getting clean one day?
Jesus.
I think, like, getting rid of the pressure to stay clean for the rest of my life is, like, the most important part of my actual health and
Ammunition, fill your pouches.
getting clean in the first
Hide an army down here.
The pressure is not
Max, how do you think the time you spent on the streets has changed you?
I found eight.
maybe blank out again.
I'll answer the same question you just asked.
I know, fuck off. It's like drastically made me a lot stronger. Being a female body person on the streets will make you go fucking love to die. Yeah. Come on. Crazy bitch with the hands.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
I think it's a tattoo on your forehead.
Stress Bill's character. I could write a whole fucking album.
I don't know. It's a lyric from our band. And it's one of Max's close friends and partner from who passed away had it tattooed on them. And I did that tattoo actually for Max right when we first got together. I'm going to private school. Paid off my writing person really well. I'm an artist, so I do occasionally do tattoos with people, and Max did. And no evil below my lip, which is evil. And I believe in, you know, people speaking evil. Not realizing that. No, someone that talks a lot. I does kind of black hole the robot, saying shit, but you get 2 years and 1.5, you know, the only time you'll ever not learn anything is when you believe it's you.
What do you think most
Behind.
people are not from this lifestyle don't understand about people that are in the streets doing drugs?
There were people too. We are people. We're homeless people. We're not just homeless.
Good people?
We're not out here just, being lazy and stuff like that. You're a lazy bum, get a job. Or first off, what are you get a fucking job at this point? And laziness is definitely what we are. We're far from it. Max is a fucking phenomenal musician. We'll sit here playing our hearts out all fucking day. We make 20, 30 bucks. That's not lazy. It's just stupid for coming back and keep playing. But you know what? It's just we love playing. You have the money, great. This body, that's the thing. If they run into these meetings, we're going to save our asses. Because depends on what they are, what they are, what they people who train themselves are so good at ignoring the homeless. Max luckily has a very loud, very beautiful voice. Like Max's singing voice is really kind of like when I heard Max singing, I heard her voice, I don't know what I heard. I was like, yeah, I'm in love with this motherfucker. And that's why people sometimes catch people's eye or catch their ear. They'll stop and listen.
Man, craziest round in a while.
A lot of times they'll sit there and like clap and just walk off and like, oh yeah, cool. You didn't notice you see the hat on the ground with the money in it? That's where your money should be. You sit and listen.
I got a shit spawn.
You like fucking walk off. Cool. I'll come in. I got you.
You guys say most important lessons you learned?
Give everyone a chance. Don't be a doormat.
You agree with that, Matt?
Give people doing others doesn't have to be doing to you until the people are not worth it. Don't let people walk on you, but don't be to get respect. You have to give some baseline. First impressions should do count, but they don't do that. I know a lot of people that meet me 1 day a week are a very different person than me.
Max and Sid, thank you so much for sharing your stories. Wish you guys the best of luck.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to explain this. I don't know the words to tell you what it feels like. Truly fucking be alone. No, I don't know the words. I can't describe the feeling. You know, it's been 40 years, I'm still crying.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from
Louisiana. What city? Shreveport. And what brought you to LA?
What brought me to LA? I just wanted a different. I want to change my life. I want different people around me. Everything to be different. I was raised by my mother and sister.
Your dad wasn't around?
No, my parents were there.
Oh, I see.
Then my dad died when I was like 8, 7.
Oh, I see.
He married, had another family. He could come out now.
Yeah.
From what I can remember in the early years of my life, I've been exposed to that all my life. I knew more about sex before I was in school than anybody else.
Why is that?
My mother, my father, and my sister were all
Molesting you.
so that's what I was doing. It got tight.
I mean, what age do you think this all began?
From the early stage.
Damn, great job.
Being a child, waiting for my sister to go to bed, she told me to go in. You ready?
Really?
I had no idea what was going on.
Wow.
So, right. So, and there was a reinforcement, and as a child, I was subjected to force. I didn't have a choice. If I said no, you're still gonna have to. I was very violent as a young age. My oldest brother was doing what he was doing and beat me daily. Okay? Just to beat me up. He's 5 years older than I. There's no way I could beat him.
Yeah.
Our father, we had a different father. I grew up hearing on a regular basis that I was not part of it. That was completely. And that's why what going on. I caught everything, all the flack, all that. This shit. The problem is, with a top, it's up.
Evening. How's the day treating you?
I should have embraced this change long ago, Gorekson. Perhaps my alliance with you was a sign.
What? Like we're remaking the old pact between Sigmar Thinbeard and Kurgan the Mighty?
Thinbeard? Thinbeard?
Nice lad, Sigmar. Or so our stories tell. They're lacking a certain physical gravitas. Still, history is written by the man who pays the skulls, eh?
I have had the name Gulmagak mentioned in certain unholy texts. The Rotbloods must not be permitted to uncover even a portion of his might. They must be stopped. Their bodies, and their cursed prize, returned to the mire forthwith.
So, the monolith of Gulmagak, eh? Bit of a mouthful. And yeah, if the plan fails, bit of a handful.
Have faith! For the time being, Sigmar guides even our wicked crone. Destroying the buboes will do what she promised.
You know these Nurgle do me. They're always happy to interrupt the killing fun with an unworthy stick or a sight for sore eyes. Crushing killjoy every rotten one of them.
Plague fanatics incoming!
Down it is.
Here they come! Stand firm and strike hard! Come on and play!
It's the only language Spawn understands. That's gibbering.
Well, you speak it well with her.
All the 77 elves! Pigma guide!
First for our counts.
Dead on the ground.
Is that a potion?
Drop it, go in the ship. Weapons up. Fire like it's payday. Keep going, Granny. You might hit something. Couldn't hit that side of a mountain. Yes, rattling gunners dead. Ah, now I'm pissed off.
That draft might come in handy.
This way.
Assassin rat!
I do believe you're getting better at this, dwarf.
That wood-fire rat won't give us any more grief.
Did you hit any of them, Scuba?
I saw one little one.
Look where you're shooting me! Someone give me a
Shield of safety.
check out this
That was good timing.
It's a wonder you're standing.
I got the patrol.
The shadows fight.
Sorcerer's gone, and so's his bloody vortex.
Grimnia's bones, another black for her.
Didn't feel a thing.
bags! What's that mood, Ricky? You think pain will stop me? Hey! Black rats! Lots of black rats!
Down here, you all blind. The weeds mostly gone.
You are needed, Elf! You must not die! Alright, careful with your foot!
See made lice? That vodka.
Assassin nearby! Light stealer witch! Put it down! You over here! Hear it! Stand together! Send the buggers back into the field! Elias, help! A glovadier! Follow! I know the way! Stay out of the water! The current will bear you away! More of them! Let's teach him some manners! That's all you're big at, boy! Take out the
I walk
The assassin! Claws his back!
The light stormer. Bring him down before he casts.
Bless me, a bomb! This is the correct path. Shield-bearing Tagaraki! Someone put it down!
Yes, have a good look. I'm sure you've nothing better to do. But the exiles came.
I see Grimnir's journey in your bright club. Bastard! Bombardier! Beware!
Shield me from sight.
I'll scave and dig fast. Don't dig safe.
Burn fire.
Come out! Nothing you can stop us! You're welcome to bloody try!
Down we go.
The telltale sound of a
Attack the
rattling!
rocks from the flank.
Oh, I'm fine, you'll see! Tread with care. Vile corruption surrounds us.
Thanks, Carillion.
By the hammer and the holy word! Healing tools if you're feeling weak, Drengarati.
I'll buy you a drink next time when it's available.
Die!
Are you deaf? There's a Chaos Warrior near.
My time! Carve them up!
The Blightstorm is finished.
Got me in midair.
Boobies down! Now watch for line, Dory. Otherwise a storm of puss and balls will
Blightstormer, explode.
slay the fire. Until that Dooby fell. There are fires. Look, I lose my beard from over there. We've a fight at our hands now. Ammunition here is a damn Kazaki do much of it. The power of faith.
Into blue.
How the more to the flame. Come on then! Go on, hit me harder! That's all you've got! You must have... The plate one's coming in!
Rise up, one last effort.
The hammer and the anvil!
The shadows hide me.
By the twin tail coming! Pick up the car!
I walk in endless silence. This way!
Shift of armor, the
Oh my goodness.
speed, no doubt!
Doesn't matter how much armor it wears, it's still a rat.
By my faith!
I walk in the lost.
Kneel before Simba!
But the exiles head. I feel the winds writhing. Blightstormer.
Keep going! Here! Good one, Dory! Blightstormer's dead! Got the hot rat! Sigma, see my rock! The Strangler dies! Now! Savage! Meat's incoming! Come on, Dory!
I walk in endless silence. Dead and good riddance. Nice work, Mayfly.
Medical supplies at last! Bastard! I spend my blood willingly! Watch! Meat's incoming!
hunt once again.
Oh, what a lump jibber! Rothelm incoming! Gotcha! Cost it blast! Don't grow careless!
A gutter gunner.
I am power! Sleep breath is dead! I want to! Come on! A chaos warrior! It's out of my grandmother! It's harder than that!
Young sorcerer, tell him on the vortex is done.
Yeah, that's bloody you! I still need your strong right arm, Crobat! The Rockhound dies! Roy, assassin, ignore yourself!
This assassin's dead. There'll be more.
Make haste!
Nice.
To me!
Ah, the taste is worse than the smell.
This is the past story. Oh, I'll get you for that! You know the deal, Glory. Only recognizable. Hail, brother!
Boss, I can't keep going.
You want
Nice try. Damn. Good.
Hoping that that'll change, you know.
What would you like to see Jay do, or how would you like to see him change?
How I would like to see him change is this. Instead of him getting mad at me and wanting to fight me all the time, maybe he should try to grab me and hold me. That's what I would like to see.
Nice night, ain't it? Probably.
Even if I'm mad, you know? Because I know if somebody's really mad at me, that's what I try to do. That's what I would try to do.
Jay, what would you like to see little mama change?
Just get herself together. Make her mind up. Where she's gonna go. I mean, come on, God put us, one thing about it, God will put somebody in your life. He has a reason, but we don't want to decide. We don't want to make the idea, oh, that person will stay in my life forever. That might not be in God's plan. Right now, what I've learned since last time we talked is to try to focus more on what God wants. Because this is, people change.
Tell me,
in the middle of the
Grover,
road.
have you considered
I'm not
striving
used to
for the order?
Me? Become a
I don't like
a
that.
witch hunter?
I'm not a fighter, as you know, per se, as you know, people may, you know, be led to think. But I ain't go back down, either. Kid, woman, child, man, whatever. I'm a Leo. If I'm challenged, I'm gonna come out.
You guys have good times together? There's still some.
Yes.
There's still some parts of the relationship that
Oh
work.
yes, we get our laughs
Stop
in and
faffing
stuff
around.
like
We
that.
don't have time
But I
to
think the
waste.
pressure of the world and the pressure of some of our peers is getting to somebody.
Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you what's going on. You know, we're already going through, like, a lot of jealousy problems and stuff like that, right? And then it's like, you know, it's sad to say, but it's an envious thing. It's an envious thing. It's like, you know, well, I thought you had a life. Like, dude, what do I need to tell you to get a life or something? Like, why are you guys all up in our business now?
24/7.
You know, you guys were doing your own thing, and when we were there, you guys were showing us off, and now we're together. The moment we get together and hang out, here you guys come. Wanting to,
Complicated as
you
well.
know,
I
yeah,
don't like speaking.
Buddy,
start things up.
coach.
But
You guys have any lives that you trust?
We
we
are
try,
called upon
but
to create a
It never
distraction
works out.
it
by
never
ringing
works
the
out.
Trust
bells
each
at
other?
the Temple of Sigmar.
Yeah,
This is indeed
we
a
do.
glorious and holy mission.
We do.
For such
And then
sweet chimes
it's hurtful
will
because
surely
sometimes trust
revive
gets
the
broken.
fighting spirit of
But at
embattled
the end of the
Helmguards.
day, we know where
Yes, I have
we're
a
coming
good
from.
feeling about
You know what I
this
mean? We
day.
know that.
A change
you're on
of
the same team?
fortunes
Yeah.
is on the wind.
So,
And drugs are still a part of your life?
not like they used
Hazy-bracky
to
in a
be.
ruined city. Bring brings back memories, doesn't it, Dory?
The main approach to the temple is cut. This will be no easy
I don't
climb.
know, Mark. I was telling him like I want to do some different things. I want to take a cruise or something. I want to go to Hawaii. I want to do some different things with him, you know. But I don't know. I don't know if this man has another life with others. I don't know what's going on. Because it's not going through. It's not happening. And me, I have a family too. I have others in my life too. But I'm trying to show him that I can make time for him.
Healing dropped here.
And I don't know what's going on with him, but I just...
Since I last seen you, Mark, I think I lost my sister and my mother.
Yeah.
And I just got word.
A storm vermin.
I just got word today that my other sister out here looking for me because there's supposed to be another death in the family, and I'm scared. I don't want to hear it, but I know I'm gonna have to.
And I have to be here for him when that comes up. Because at the end of the day, I am, you know, like, just ready to separate myself, like, where our camper is and stuff. You know, I had found a sofa, I found a piece of carpet, I found some mattresses, and I was about to set my own thing. You know what I mean? And then he comes at me like this, and it just like,
Even a witch has her
everything
uses.
just dropped, you know? And then it's like when you're in situations like that, you still have to go through other, you know, situations.
You get depressed, you get angry. What happens? What emotions come up?
You saw them, Sergeant.
You know what? I know this.
That
I know by you
strangely.
Stay together.
letting us, you know, do this interview is going to help a lot. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what I've been talking about. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what happens. When we go back out there and I'm talking about how he's doing this with somebody and how I'm doing that with somebody,
How much health do Chaos
we're gonna
Warriors
stick
have?
together. And we're about to get, well, we go get
I'm
get
pretty
a
sure I
room,
just did
take a
182
shower,
and it just didn't die.
get out the world. See, now I gotta shut up because I'm talking about things that we need. That's gonna help us feel better. And he wants me to be quiet. I think I'm gonna try to work on being quiet.
Are you guys faithful to each other? 100%?
Look, he knows what I do, right? He knows that I'm good. So I asked him if he's like, yeah, we are.
Come, wretches. I have scores to settle.
I don't know, the biggest problem with most of Gruber's weapons is that I literally cannot move while swinging.
I care what it is. Maybe that's the problem. You know what I mean? That I'm really not even. I'm trying to do what I gotta do so I can maybe a miracle happen sometime.
Complicated relationship.
But before we, I don't know, before we separate, we go, you know, we're not gonna go out. I'm not gonna separate from him like this. And he's not gonna separate from me like this. I'm sorry. I don't care how hard I gotta fight. What's funny? Who you got there, me or you? Or a lot of you just, whatever. You think I'm joking, I don't know. Or maybe
Hold your breath, Dory. Plague.
Witch! Your name is as crooked as your model.
I walk with Sigma.
What's your favorite thing about Little Mama?
I gotta take it back. We're gonna go to the hospital too because he's having He had a, okay, baby, we'll be done in a second. See? See? When you,
Hey, Yappy.
when you do that
You know what
to,
I'm saying?
well, that's, we're here to talk. We're doing an interview. Boy, we can't just sit here. Am I doing what we're supposed to be doing? I'm trying.
We're here to talk.
I'm not here to just sit
See
here.
how they come to the slaughter.
What's your favorite thing about
Just like us being able to.
So much for that assassin.
That's a sword sorcerer! Cut into little pieces!
In 5 years, Mark, I want to be doing something different. I want to be fucking managing a McDonald's and having like my own spot and go have the industry. I want him to, I want him to work, but I don't want him to do a bunch of hard work or work hard. A little bit. I want us to be I want to enjoy some dinners with him. Matter of fact, if we could get our crazy cousin out there that just did the interview, Chloe, if we could get her to take us to this, I already got it set up what I want us to have for lunch today and everything. Okay, well, whatever. I know what I'm gonna go get. I know what I'm having. Right, you gotta try it. The best Chinese food place. It's off of 103rd and Wilmington. I don't know if you've been, that's like by the Nickerson Project area. They have these egg rolls they make, they like the size of burritos. And they have like shrimp, real shrimp, and beef, and steak, and chicken in it. But what I like is the rice, the fried rice that you get from a Chinese, it's more like home cooked rice. It's so good. Yeah. So I just want us to... I'm taking it. But that's okay, because we're going to take care of each other.
Bad as cousin up. Where is your royal patron now? Chaos warrior.
Thank you, America. Stay tuned.
And I'm gonna tell you guys. You guys better stop bothering Mark. Because one day, y'all gonna come see him and me or Frog is gonna pop up back here.
Thank you.
Listen, assassin.
It's the right door!
Against you, now what's your flight? Watch for that brother.
I looked at it as I had an ATM between my legs. All I had to do was that women are born, and I knew how to use it.
All right, Tayi. Where are you from originally? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Durham, North Carolina.
Set that hooker to blaze!
12.
Hold up.
And then
I'm
I
feeling
moved
a
to
touch
Washington
out of
State with my
sorts.
dad. And
Listen,
12.
Dory.
And how was your childhood?
My childhood was very dysfunctional. It was very dysfunctional. I remember from a very early age, I probably say 3 or 4 years old, my dad
That train still can.
would
If so,
take me with
point
him
that
to
cannon
go
at the gate.
and shoot at my mom. And I remember, for me it felt like a long time because I remember going to school and my dad, I remember going to school and going to my teachers and telling them, oh, I have 18 brothers and sisters.
Where did he come from?
And they were like, they thought that was wild, and like somehow I don't know how my parents found out, but somehow they found out. And mom just being like, why are you lying to them? You don't have 18 brothers and sisters. And you just left everyone. You know, like my family thought it was funny. But really, they didn't know that. It was because my dad was taking me to go see all these women. And I would just sleep in the living room while he would just go and have an affair. And seeing that was wild. It was, and my dad did it so much that in kindergarten, I remember seeing the guy that had a crush on me, and now somehow I'm at his house. And my dad is hanging out with his mom. And it was just weird. It was just like, wow, like, I'm really seeing all these women. And like, they all have kids. And the dad was never, it was different. And then on top of that, my dad was very abusive. It was very mind-fucking. I remember being dragged together with my baby sister in her hand. And he dragged her from the steps outside and just dragged her outside. And beating on her. And she was just crying. I just couldn't remember why. I didn't understand why he did what he did. You know, and not understand why my dad had to do it. And like, my dad would beat us. My dad just and I just remember wanting to get away from him so bad. And I couldn't. You know, even though he would always threaten it, he was like, do you want me to sing back to North Carolina and go live with your mom? And I'm like, no. Because, like, what am I going to do there, you know? But, and then, I don't know, it was just weird. He was so controlling and so mind-fucking to the point where, like, even when we moved to Washington State, I didn't even have a choice. Like, he asked me, I remember it was on a Wednesday, right? And he asked me, he was like, so, you know, me and your mom are getting a divorce, and you want to come move to Washington State? I was like, no, I'm gonna stay here. And then he was like, well, too bad, we already bought the plane ticket, and I'm not about to leave because so we're going here in Washington. And then Friday, I was literally in a whole new household. I was the only black girl in my whole entire fucking school. That was weird. And then like I'm moving in with I don't want to call them babies, but moving in with my stepsister. And everything was just different. Then to get off the plane and see my dad kiss another woman. It was just everything was so different. Everything was just like this big, like, culture shock for no fucking reason. Like, it was too much. And having to play family, and she didn't even like us. She didn't want us to be there. She only kept us there because our dad wanted us there. It's like, I want my mom, and I couldn't have my mom.
Quickly now, down here.
Bad. And I couldn't have her.
I'd not make a good
She was
pilgrim.
so far.
All that
I got all the way
bowing
to
and
Washington
scraping.
State. But we had to stay, and I had to deal with what we had to deal with, and it felt like it was like a Cinderella story. You know, where you have like they weren't evil, they didn't know any better. You know, I don't believe them, they didn't know any better, but they always got the better end of the stick than all of us. So it was just weird, like watching my dad like cater to someone else's kids and us.
Where's that weakling now?
And like he always treated them so nice and would always just like, why can't you be more like them? And it's like, I'm your kid, why can't, you know, like why can't you love me for who I am, you know?
Watch out! Chaos, warrior!
Rockhound's not
Please, Prowling! Poison rat's dead!
Abusive relationship and super abusive. 4 years down the line, we're still together and we had a kid together our last year.
This
I
fight
decided
will
I'm like, I
test
don't want
us.
to be in this
We
relationship
should meet
anymore.
it
Like
prepared.
he gives me an STD and I'm like, I gotta go. You know, he's sexually abusive, mentally abusive, emotionally abusive. Anything you can think of that's abusive, that motherfucker was it. He was abusive. And so I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. So then I get out of there, but like 2 months down the line,
holy
I lose my job. So I'm jobless and I do not have a place to call my own.
Job can fit
So I'm,
under
like,
the
sitting
bell,
on
which
the
is
couch.
funny.
a couch. There's bed, but sleeping in her home. And I need some cash. My car broke down, and like I need money to fix it. So then I go and I meet with Ronnie, right? And found him on Backpage. Never heard of Backpage before. My best friend showed me that. So I meet up with Ronnie, and he has all these liquor bottles in his cabinet. He says that I was supposed to do like a massage or whatever. And I was like, cool, like, he's like, yeah, they're like these older men, they love it when young women come and they give them a massage. And I was like, awesome, like, this is cool. I'm like, that's all I gotta do is a massage. I was like, great, you know? And he was like, I make all this money. But he has this, all this liquor in his cabinet. And he's just like, you know, I have feminine products with me. Yeah, no, like, you know, like for yourself. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I go and have a drink. He's like, yeah, this is gonna really keep you calm. This is all within the first day of meeting. And then he's like, but I also have sex. And mind you, this guy is but he has Xanax, and he's like, do you want some? I was like, oh, it'll just keep you. He's like, you'll just go to sleep. I was like, okay. So he's like, usually people football it, that's like where you take the whole thing. But I'm like, he's like, but since you mean I just take a third of it. I'm like, all right. So then I take a third of it, and I'm drinking, and I still don't feel it, so I take another part of the third. So the second part of it, cut up. And so I take the second part, and then the first client comes over, and I do my thing. At this point, Ronnie's like, telling me, like, yeah, I'm not touching service. He tells me I'm hot, so like, give a fuck. And then I'm like, can't fuck me whatever. And then kill that gas rat! And then the second guy comes, and Ronnie can see it because he has this Xbox next to him. And the guy is looking down. The guy's like, I wanted to do this. Now, I was anything that happened. Comes to find out, Ronnie like wakes me up, and I just see him running out of his room with a gun. And then I guess apparently the guy was trying to rape me to get into me. And I'm like, pass the fuck out. And then Ronnie scares him off, and then that shit scares me the fuck off. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is not me. I'm like, no. But he was still mind fucking. He was coming like, come on, make some money. And I went back a couple times. But then, like, there was one time where, like, my pH balance was like least infection. And everyone was like, I was like, I can't work today. And then he was so pissed. He was just like, no, don't worry about it. Don't fucking come back. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, no, you're done. I'm done with you. I'm like, what? I'm like, I need the money, you know? So then I was like, oh, whatever, that's not gonna work out. So then my friend went back on that date. And then you hit me, Krober, again! And that's when everything changed. And then I met up with Maddie and Victoria. They were the first spa owners I ever met. And they were so sweet. They were so nice. And I told them, I was like, look, I don't want to have sex with any men. I was like, if I have to do that, then I'm out. I don't want to do this. And then she's like, if I find out you're having sex at my spa, I will fire you. I was like, cool. So here I am. I'm working at a Jack Shack, right? And I'm working at a Jack Shack, and it's weird. It is weird. Like, the pricing and everything is weird. So, like, they charge $60 for 30 minutes. That's just to get in. And then it's $80 for an hour. And then that money doesn't go to me. That goes to the owners. And then they tip you on top of that. And then, you know, they tip you however much you want. You know, but the spa I worked at, where they were like weirdos. They were like weirdos. Like, there's this guy, I think his name was something like that. But he liked to pluck my hair and floss his teeth with it. And then, yeah, weird. And then he had a foot fetish. So I would sit up on the bed like, oh, sorry. I would sit up on the bed like this and then have my foot out. And then he would drink water off of it. And he would like praise my foot, like he loved it. And then like I would like choke him with my foot, like in his mouth, just like in there, just ugh. And he loved it. And he just.
Today, I'll be narrating 3 new creepy posts that I found off of the Let's Not Meet subreddit. Liking this video and subscribing to my channel helps me a lot. After you've heard these stories, let me know what you think of them in the comments below.
Don't stay
Without
up
further ado, let's dive straight into the experiences. This all started my sophomore year of high school. I was 15 and at a new school, so I didn't have many friends yet. I was in that phase where I thought I needed a boyfriend to have validation, so I was actively trying to find a date for the homecoming dance. Classmates suggested a junior in one of her classes, whom I will call David, to be my date and got him to ask me out. He seemed nice, so I said yes, a decision that would haunt me for the next 2 years. David and I had fun at homecoming, so when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I said yes. It's important to know that he was quite the loner. He was very much into science and often spent a lot of time experimenting, and even at school at times. I just brushed it off as him being quirky and figured I shouldn't get in the way of his passions, but it wasn't long before I realized there was much more to his nice guy facade. Over the first several weeks of our relationship, we would talk over the phone and David would make increasingly inappropriate comments about things he wanted to do to me. I was 15 at the time and he was 17, so not only was I incredibly uncomfortable, but he was also nearly an adult making these comments to a young girl. I kept telling him I wasn't comfortable with the things he was saying, but he always laughed it off as being correct. I was fed up after a while and finally threatened to break up with him, and I finally made him stop. I should have recognized the red flags and bailed at that moment, but again, I was done and felt I wasn't worth anything unless I had a boyfriend. Although the inappropriate comments stopped for the time being, he would still become increasingly possessive and downright obsessed over what I was doing at all hours of the day. He would intrude on conversations I had with my friends and want to know things that frankly weren't any of his business. One day when I was getting into the shower, he called and my dad told him I would call him when I was done. Instead of simply waiting like any rational person would do, he called a total of 4 times over the next 10 to 15 minutes to see if I was out of the shower yet. I began to feel suffocated, but every time I asked him to back off, he would cry about how depressed he was and that he only wanted to talk to someone to feel like he was wanted. I always fell for it like the dummy I was, but now I recognize the clear manipulation that it was. One day I finally had enough. I broke up with him in person at school and we bawled like a child. I didn't let it get to be this time, however, and firmly told him that I didn't want to be his girlfriend anymore. Although he couldn't get his way, he still somehow convinced me to stay friends. I know I was an idiot, but things didn't end there. Over the next several months, David kept trying to get me to go out with him again, even going as far as to cry in front of other people to garner sympathy. Fortunately for me, David had earned a bad reputation throughout his school year, so no one really believed him. He would even try to trick me into a date by subtly suggesting we go see a movie as friends, which I always got around by inviting my friends to come along too. They knew what he was doing and never turned down the chance to help a girl out. In the last few weeks I spoke to him, he would sit on the phone for hours on end, literally begging me to take him back. And thankfully, I held on strong and kept refusing. One night, his brother actually called me telling me he was crying hysterically. Eventually, it came to a point where I told him I didn't want to be out with him, because it was clear that he would never stop until he became his girlfriend again. He agreed to my first meeting, but I wouldn't be done with seeing the end of fear. The very next day at school, David came up to me like nothing had happened. I once again reminded him of the conversation we had the night before about how we agreed to meet him out, but he acted offended that I would even suggest such a thing. Eventually, my friends and I convinced him to leave, but of course he didn't stop there. For 2 weeks straight, he would follow me around school, call my house, and my cell phone. For 2 weeks straight, he would follow me around school and call my house. This is all days before smartphones, so blocking his number wasn't easy. I tried to get help from the school staff, but the vice principal basically told me that there was nothing I could do because he wasn't trying to hurt me. I was frustrated, but thankfully David would back off when it was clear that I wasn't going to give in. That is until I got another boyfriend. The following school year, my junior year, I started dating a senior named Justin. Not long after we went public with our relationship, I noticed David following me again. Now, Justin was a football player and he was a pretty big guy with unresolved anger issues, so he didn't take kindly to this guy. He would hang out with me and my friends, and David would hug it over nearby. He would every now and then and make it a
Someone needs to strike a blow for Usyk.
One day, Justin walked straight up to David and confronted him. He didn't lay his hands on him or threaten him. He did that as he was doing, and really second payment, but this was only the first of a long line. Over the school year, David and his brother, who was a year younger than me, would try to get Justin in trouble every which way they could, either to his rumors or threatening his life. A classmate of mine overheard me talking about Englishing Justin in her room, and even though I brought this to the staff, nothing was done with it. All the while, David kept calling me when Justin was coming. There was even an incident in the school gym one day when a bunch of classes had to stay there for the period. He and I both were there, and he made sure to sit on the bleachers nearby, even following me when I moved. I was on the verge of tears, but then I saw two guys I knew sitting on a few rows down from me. They were cool with me, so I got their attention, and after explaining what was going on, asked them if I could sit with them to feel safer. They accepted, and we ended up having a good time talking about music. In spite of this, things just kept getting worse with David. Finally, it came to a head when David's brother wrote a letter to Justin's sister. They had been good friends before this whole mess started, and in the letter David's brother threatened physical harm to me and to Justin. The sister gave the letter to Justin, and it came to me, and we both brought it to the principal. That was when the principal called everyone involved into his office and had a nice little chat with us. The principal showed the letter to David's brother and said, "I can expel you for this right now, but I'm willing to let it go on one condition." David and Justin were both about to graduate, so the principal gave him the ultimatum. He stated that David and his brother were not to contact me or Justin in any way, shape, or form for the rest of the school year, or he would see to that neither of them would graduate. I was pissed because Justin did nothing wrong, but in the end, we just wanted this whole mess to be over with. From that point on, David didn't bother me again, thankfully. Justin and I ended up breaking up that summer for unrelated reasons, and the following year I didn't have to see either of them ever again. A few years later, however, David tried to see me from request on Facebook. I deleted the request and blocked him. I even unfriended and blocked the 2 mutual friends we had for good measure. Sure, I was being paranoid, but it made me feel better. That was one last incident involving David, not with me, but with my younger brother. When he was 14, he took his ring girlfriend to see one of the guest families when David walked in. Upon recognizing my brother, he sat behind him in his seat and he kept laughing uncontrollably at inappropriate times, and even started taking their seat. My brother tried confronting him, but it did no good. They didn't bother getting the manager because my brother's date was too afraid he would attack them if they tried to connect. Thankfully, that was the last incident I or anyone close to me ever had. I'm doing much better now. At 30 years old, and ironically, I ended up marrying one of the guys who sat with me on the journey I thought. My advice to any teenage reading this is that you should always pay attention to red flags and you get a toxic friend. It's always better to end up alone and stuck with someone who makes you feel bad and treats you like a queen for being. This happened a few years ago when I was bartending in college. I was coming home down a stretch of divided highway at around 3 a.m. when I noticed a car heading towards me in the wrong lane. I doubted myself at first and thought that the car was on the other side of the highway. Sure enough, the white Ford sedan passed me at a really high speed at around 90 miles per hour. It's worth noting for later that I also drive a white Ford sedan. I was used to drunk/idiot drivers in the middle of the night, so I pulled to the side of the road and they passed me. I had a moment of clarity and thought to call the police, thinking this person could hurt themselves or somebody else. The dispatcher answered, and after telling them which road and exit/mile marker I was at, told me they would send a car. The state police station was only a few exits away, so I figured they would send somebody and I would just drive home. As I headed back onto the highway, I noticed some lights a few miles behind me. I live in a more rural part of southeastern Pennsylvania, and traffic at 3 a.m. tends to be truckers and cops. The car gained on me as I was getting up to speed, so I stayed in the right lane and waited to be passed. Instead, they flipped on their high beams, making it uncomfortable to drive, and rode my tailgate. At this point, I thought I was going to be pulled over by the police. I drove a white Ford sedan and had just called out a different white Ford sedan, so I grabbed my registration from my glove box. Suddenly, the car behind me audibly slammed on the brakes and stopped in the middle of the highway. They must have shut off their car because the lights went out and I saw what looked like the same Ford sedan from earlier. Still, I thought this may have been a police car. They had a roof rack, and they could have looked like I had reached for a gun in my glove box or something. I panicked and called 911 for the second time and asked the dispatcher if they had sent a cruiser to investigate. The dispatcher was ready to go with me and assured me that they sent somebody out. Dispatcher, we have sent a trooper out to find the car, sir. I only asked because somebody's following me and acting weird. It could be a cop, but I think I should get my license and my registration. Dispatcher, are you pulled over? No, they didn't turn on the lights. Dispatcher, let me try to get the trooper sent out. As she was talking, the car again sped towards me and stopped inches from my bumper. Again, their high beams were on, and again, they slammed their brakes. I told the dispatcher, I'm pretty sure this is not the police behind me. The car sped to my bumper again and turned their high beams on, this time laying on the horn. Hearing this, the dispatcher asked me what was happening. Dispatcher, what's happening? Did you honk? That's the car behind me. I don't think it's a cop. Dispatcher, I tried to get the trooper again, but I don't think that's him behind you. For some reason, this is what shook me. Before that, I was thinking I would get pulled over and maybe get a ticket. Up until then, I was going to the speed limit and trying to avoid getting pulled over. I told the dispatcher, I don't care if I get pulled over, I'm speeding, and if you keep your I started to accelerate and the person behind me just kept up with me. The speed limit was 55 and they kept on my bumper the entire time, but this time they were swerving. I tried to signal for an exit being dead end, but they followed. At the next exit, I took the off-ramp and continued onto the on-ramp and the car behind me followed the whole time. I thought about trying to go through a Wawa gas station as a dispatcher and I thought that would be unsafe. She was calm and talking to another person trying to save face time. The other person, maybe a supervisor, asked if I could drive to the state police station. Realizing that I was one exit away, I told her I was coming there and she said that she would have troopers meet me outside. As I pulled off to the exit, the car followed me. I blew a few red lights trying to get to the police station and the car tried to pull into the other lane to pass me or put up alongside me. Once the police station was in view, I put on my turn signal and the car slammed on its brakes again, turned off the lights, and turned into a parking lot. The story ends kind of anticlimactically as I pulled into the police station with the troopers. Two of them went to find the car and I stayed with the third trooper. I think the dispatcher and her supervisor and the state trooper escorted me home after taking a statement from me. I was never called to follow up and testify, so I can only assume the person didn't get caught. I don't drink as a general rule, but once a month or so I'll go out with friends and binge. My friends and I had a great night at a bar in the city and they left. I was chatting up a cute guy, so I decided to stay. I went back to his place. After post-coitus, I'm ready to head home, so I call an Uber to pick me up. I don't know where I am, I know the city I'm in, but not my exact location. I ordered the Uber, but it's taking forever, so I cancel it and try again. Pretty soon the car pulls up. I drunkenly mumble something like, "Is this the Uber?" and I hop in and stay. Ubers apparently supposed to have some kind of marking in the vehicle. The guy pulls away and starts driving, we're chatting, I'm fumbling for a cigarette, and the next thing I notice is that we're headed for the highway, but in the opposite direction of where I thought we needed to drive. We're going at a solid 90 miles per hour. Then I get a call from an Uber driver. He's there and I'm not, because I'm in the car with someone else. I start texting my friend frantically counting off mile markers for her. Then I realize that's going to do jack, because she's probably drunk too. So I call 911, but I realize this guy is crazy. He's refusing to let me out of the car, so I've got to do it on the slide. It's been about 40 minutes now. I'm terrified. I don't know where I am, I don't know who this is. We're driving at over 100 miles per hour, weaving in and out of traffic. This guy is trying to get me to hang up my phone call, and also smoking pot, so I don't want to do anything that might provoke a violent reaction from him. I start chatting to the 911 dispatcher as if it's my friend, praying that they'll catch on. "Hey girl, it's me. Yeah, I'm with someone right now. We're driving past highway exit." "No sweetie, it's not my Uber. I thought it was, but it's not. It's a shame you can't come and meet me and bring friends." Thankfully, the operator catches on. He gets me to stay on the phone while he sends cops, and we develop a code. If I see cops, I'm supposed to casually put my hand out the window, which looks semi-normal because I'm smoking a cigarette. We pull into some random little housing complex, and he busts out some powder and forms 2 lines. I now have confirmation that he does drugs, which means he's probably emotionally volatile. I relay this to the operator in code, "Oh girl, I wish you were here right now. This guy just busted out the code. You'd love it. He's taking a really big bump, man after my own heart," etc. Pretty soon I can see the lights from the cop car, so I start waving my hand out the window. At this point, I don't care if he's on to me or not. I don't know if he has a weapon, but I slump down on my seat just in case things get hot. The cops surround us, get him out of the car, and then, once it's safe, they extricate me as well. They risk me to the hospital for a drug test and evaluation, and that's where my story ends. On my way to the hospital, as I'm explaining all this to the officer, I find out that of the guy's 40-ish years on his birth, he's been in federal prison for sadism, for violent offenses. I want people to learn from my mistakes, and if nothing else, call 911 and stay in the line. Alright, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Let me know what you thought of these stories in the comments below. But as always,
Are you with us, Grimdy? Assassin rat!
Black rat will burn.
your ears on that. I reckon it's a fire rat.
There, black rats. Gun ready.
God damn, so many.
Assassin! Assassin! Beach incoming!
Yeah, man, really?
Load it up.
If you want to.
Throw everything in the kitchen sink at it. Every time the Kia Carnival MPV comes back with one thing to say.
Hello everyone, today I'll be narrating 3 new creepy codes that I found over the Let's Not Meet subreddit. Liking this video and subscribing to my channel helps me a lot. If you've heard these stories, let me know what you think of them in the comments below. But without further ado, let's dive straight into their experiences.
I am not your foe, witch. Not yet.
This happened 2 summers ago while I was house sitting out in California for an older couple I had met at a conference for work. It has seemed like a dream scenario. The couple wanted to vacation in Hawaii for 2 weeks. They didn't have to afford their cats, and they had been chatting around about California, but they happened to live in the first week. And we figured that we could mutually benefit by hanging out in house all the time. So I flew out there and they showed me around for a few days, taught me how to take care of the cats. 2 of them, one that was extremely shy and I barely saw, which is important later in the plants, gave me access to their house and cars. These people were so generous, and before I knew it, I had dropped them off at the airport and was on my own. At first, it was really the dream vacation. I was staying in Oakland and making 4 races to San Francisco, Sonoma, and Monterey. In the morning, I would walk out the front door and shortly be back in the house where I was nearby Mount Diablo. I was just ultra content with the world. I was so enamored by the area that I had actually started looking into taking some steps to relocate out there. But then one day, about halfway through my final week there, when I got back, I felt really hot, almost like I should go inside. I shook it off the wait inside anyway, because it was getting late and ready to grab things.
You hear what I hear, mate?
Once I was inside, I forced myself to know how hot it was. And I made something for myself in the bed, and was shocked to find the shy cat I didn't know I had found. This was the first time I had ever seen myself up. The entire time I was in there up to that point, she never left my host's bedroom unless she didn't bring herself to town. And I ignored being weird, and just assumed she had decided that I was okay in the bed. I did start walking my bedroom door at night. I also remembered that about halfway through that night, I thought I heard someone walking around in the gravel outside the window. But after looking deeper, I didn't hear anything else and went back to sleep. The day after, in the morning, I still felt a little odd, but kept up with my plans for the day. I drove out to a little musical festival in Sonoma and went clothes shopping and had an overall great day. When I got back to the house though, I found the front door locked in a way that I hadn't left it. Basically, my host never locked the deadbolt, only the lower second lock, and that's the only lock my key worked on, so I never messed with the deadbolt, but it was definitely locked. So I had to call my host to find the hiding key, which, to their credit safety-wise, was buried like a whole foot underneath a bush outside and had definitely not been under for a long time. So I used that, went inside, and kept the key with me just in case it got me. And it did, but with a different door. This time I stepped out to the garage to get a drink, and when I turned around to go back into the house, the door was shut and locked. I used my normal key on the door, but I was still getting pretty bewildered. My own cats are wag, so I think in my mind I was trying to come up with a way that would keep locking me out the house, but I was coming up empty. I decided I must have been misunderstanding how the locks worked and just wrote it off and started checking and triple checking locks when I went out of the house or into the garage. That night when I went to bed, the really awful feeling of unease was still there, and so was the shy cat, who was clearly unhappy to see me, but also wouldn't leave my room. Again, I just locked my bedroom door and went to sleep. The next morning I felt awful, nausea, body ache. I had no desire to leave the house, so I decided to stay in and Netflix for a bit. This vacation stay was like a full 2 months, so I didn't feel like I was in any hurry to get all the foods and things ready to game. But as the days went on, I started to feel that feeling of loneliness, and it morphed into feeling incredibly washed. Around mid-afternoon, it got to the point that I was so uneasy that, even feeling awful, I decided to get out of the house for a bit to shake it off. I was getting a bit low on food, so I went to the grocery store and bought a couple food items that I didn't think would hurt my stomach and was left. When I got to my car, I started crying and my entire body was pain enough to drive back to the house. I couldn't not do it because I didn't want to regret the cats. So I drove back, parked in the driveway, and finished myself after about half an hour to just go open the front door. Once I did that, I thought I would get over it and immediately go in and at least feed the cats. And then maybe I'd go get a hotel room after, but my body physically would not let me inside. It was like I was stuck in the entry web. I didn't need to deal with myself. I would yell into the house saying I had already called the police on the way. And panic logic, I figured that would make anyone in the sleep. So I faced the inside of the house, looking down the hallway to the bedrooms, and I did just that. The second I had finished saying, "They're almost here, so if you want to avoid being arrested, you need to leave now," the light in my host room turned on and I heard some banging. I immediately hightailed it back to the car, called the police for real, and proceeded to have a mental breakdown while talking to the dispatcher. Once they got there, they checked the house and didn't find anyone. The double doors in my host's bedroom were left wide open. I'm so glad the cats didn't get out, and there was a pile of food wrappers in the corner behind the blinds. So they said it looked like someone had been there. What makes it so scary to me is that nothing was taken, and without facing the shape of the house. So I would have been the perfect thing to spend the scene in the living room as Hazel said. To explain this, the house was in a great shape, and the windows into the garden that were in the host's bedroom. You could see into the living room windows. Also, the minute the police were gone, I said they couldn't prove anyone was there. There were no signs of forced entry, and we couldn't get a hold of my host immediately to verify if anything had been taken, etc. Which once they were back, they verified that nothing had been taken, so they said they'd patrol a bit, but nothing else. The shy cat was right back into my host's bedroom, and I didn't see her again until I left to go back home. So basically, I think the intruder had been there at least 2 days, forcing her to choose between 2 strangers, and leaving her to choose the one that was at least a little less strange. It messed me up really bad, especially because they didn't catch the person, and didn't seem to have any desire to look, and I still had to stay in my house for the next 3 days. Nothing else happened, but I didn't feel off the rest of the time I was there, but the damage was done. I've never felt completely safe in a home without doing a complete search before bed since, but I am extremely glad my guts spoke up. I guess I'd rather have some residual anxiety than be dead. So about 5 years ago, I, male 26 years old, set out to travel the world. Being straight out of college, I left North as the new job I was overqualified for and genuinely depressed. I felt isolated and alone in a small town in Washington, becoming the only way to get out of travel. My high school buddy suggested I look into home hygiene and volunteering as a little travel chief, and so I did. The way it works is quite simple. You work for around 25 hours a week and the draw is that since the community of cheap travelers is quite big, it is a great way to meet new people, get outside of your comfort zone and just let yourself live and figure life out. Fast forward 8 months and I'm a seasoned cow patty shoveler. I started out in Washington, Oregon, and went south to California. There, I was able to save some money on the stage and got some extra work, and now faced with the decision of where to go. The excitement of being able to purchase a ticket to almost anywhere in the world was possessing me. And on the advice of my volunteering partner, I chose a race. I went to a randomizer website in the country of Georgia to say I didn't know anything about it, but the things were unknown and it excited me without excitement. So I did. I purchased a ticket and started browsing for a farm that could host me. There were a few options, and most were remote and hadn't even had an internet connection. I messaged every single one because few ever respond and got a response from one farm in South Carolina. The picture showed a traditional Georgian stone house with a large garden out in the back, a family with several cheerful children, grandparents having dinner, and a moose. It seemed warm and inviting. The description was written in good English, and the requirements for work seemed reasonable. I was excited. After I flew into Tbilisi, the capital, I followed the instructions that they had sent to locate the farm, which wasn't an easy task. Few in Georgia speak English, the roads are screwed since few have been maintained since the fall of the Soviet Union. Soviet buses and taxis, weird serpentine roads and paths to get to the desired blue pin on my map. It was a dirt path leading up a steep hill into a national park right in the north of the country. There was nothing for miles on end but trees and silence. As I got up that hill, I saw the house about half a mile away from the surrounded by trees. The now beautiful seemed abandoned, overgrown, brown, and dreary. As I walked past the gate, Yuri, fake name, the apparent owner approached me. He was a heavy, small, middle-aged guy with a big smile on his face. He shook my hand and in broken English started to show me around. He also smelled of booze. He would show me around. I noticed that there wasn't anyone there with us. I asked about his wife and kids and he brushed to the side and said something to the extent, "They're away right now." By this point, I am creeped out. From browsing around, it was apparent that the farm was in deep decline. Apple trees and crops were dying, the roof of the small barn caved in, and the house itself full of trash and smelling of mold. It was obvious that Yuri was going through a rough patch, but I wasn't going to turn around and just leave in the middle of nowhere. I had a plan, having not slept for the past 6 hours. It was evening, and after feeding me well and trying as best as he could to hold a conversation in English, Yuri showed me my room on the second floor and I went to sleep. I almost immediately blacked out from exhaustion and stress, and would have slept for 10 hours if I wasn't awoken by a strange noise in the middle of the night. It sounded like something metallic and heavy was being dragged across the wooden floor, and that seeping in-between state, I listened to it for a few minutes, thought nothing of it, and went back to sleep once it stopped. In the morning, Yuri, now sober and grumpy, asked me to repair some of the windows and doors in the house because he himself planned to go and fetch and repair some nearby windows. Again, I got this room feeling creepy down the spine. Something was like, I didn't want to be so there was no subtle section there. I checked my house to get a general idea of the place, and it became apparent that the place was hardly ever lived in, like one of those abandoned houses. There was broken furniture, newspapers, and old photos on the floor, a shattered mirror. I took my phone and looked through the saved listing again. The photos didn't match either the backyard, the garden, or the walls. There wasn't one anywhere. It was a completely different house. Now by this point, I am full-blown enemy. I pack my stuff and start to leave when I see a group of 3 men going up that first hill. There aren't any other paths I can take, so I go behind the house and rush down this hill into the forest. After some time, I stop and listen. I hear them in the house, clearly looking for me. Afraid of making any noise, I remain still, hidden behind a bush. I don't know how long I wait, but they were persistent. At some point, I hear them leave, so I count until some large number and proceed back into the house and path. But once I find it's all clear, I book the heck out of there. Never ran this fast, but I am still in the middle of nowhere. No traffic, no public transport. I reach a paved road and start walking in the general direction from where I remember coming. Hours go by, and finally a car drives by and stops. It was a really nice Russian family that gave me a ride to town. The listing disappeared from the website a few days later. I left, and I haven't heard from Yuri since. I've yet to make sense of that experience. I have traveled since in volunteers too, and have yet to have an experience like that again. But I trust my gut feeling, something was really not right.
In death, there lies
More than a few years ago, I was working as a burlesque entertainer in a children's club. I was idly sitting at the main bar one night when I took a dinner. Not unusual. I had no contact with them and thought nothing of their being there until a few days after that night, the doorman handed me a piece of paper that had 2 names and phone numbers written, Laura and Richard. I was supposed to call one of them, so I called Laura, who told me that I'd been the couple who came to the bar the other night, and they noticed me and thought I'd be perfect for a part in the movie Richard's producing. Would I be up for a meeting? Of course I did. I was told Richard would pick me up the next night at 7 to wear something light. 7 o'clock came the next evening, and I was ready in a white face dress with ostrich feather trim when Richard showed up outside my building, so I went down, introduced myself, and got in the car. We agreed to go to the local bar and meet up in the meeting, but first he had to go back to his place so he could pick up the contracts for dying, so off we went. He went in the house and came back out with a few manila envelopes and an open bottle of beer, a brand that I didn't drink, plus it's against the law to drink alcohol in the police beer. So I stuck the beer into the window well of his Jeep and we went to the bar. At the bar, he showed me what were supposedly scripts from this movie he was producing. In some contracts, it looked pretty legit. Richard was very nice and absolutely good. I made some plans to go out later with my soon-to-be boyfriend, so I excused myself to go call him on the bar's payphone. It took me a while that I ordered at the bar with me to the bank of phones. As a dancer, I'd been taught to the other older folks to never let Richard out of sight. My boyfriend wanted to get going for me to go, so I went back to the table where Richard was and told him I had to go. He didn't like that and tried a few different things to get me to go to the movie set with him, saying I could meet Mickey Rourke and check out the set, but all I really wanted to do was meet my boyfriend, so I declined, took Richard's card, and left. I never heard from Richard again, but a couple of months later, the police came around to the bar I was working. They had 2 big books and left shots and a stack of cold water for and they wanted to talk to all of us about a predator couple who had been setting up meetings with dancers by saying they were in the film industry, then drugging them. They showed me the 2 mugshot books and asked if I saw anyone I recognized in the pictures, and I immediately identified Richard and Laura. They then showed me the Polaroids, which were trophy pictures of the couple in the act of attacking the 4 drug girls, and asked if I knew any of the victims and where they might find them in order to talk to the girls. I only knew a couple of women in the photographs, but there were a lot that this had happened to. Richard and Laura were prostitutes. He went to jail, but she didn't because she was from a wealthy family and she also turned with his son. About 12 years after Richard was convicted, I saw in the newspaper that he was up for possibility of parole. So I wrote a letter to the parole board telling the story and urging them not to let him back out because he's a dangerous offender who should have to stay in prison for the entirety of his sentence. If I had drank that open beer he had handed me in the street on the way to that meeting, I wouldn't have made it to the meeting and would probably have ended up in that stack of Polaroids. Girls and guys, always keep your eye on your trains. Have fun, but be careful out there. Alright, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Let me know what you thought of these stories in the comments below. But as always, hello everyone. Today, I'll be narrating 3 new creepyposts that I found on the Let's Not Meet subreddit. Liking this video and subscribing to my channel helps me a lot. If you've heard these stories, let me know what you think of them in the comments below. But without further ado, let's dive straight into their experiences. So this happened about a year and a half ago. I moved to Los Angeles 3 years ago. First time living on my own and I love it. Even with everything that happened, I still love living here. So I'm a smoker, on average about 3 to 4 cigarettes a day. So thankfully I'm only at a pack, like every 5 or 6 days, whatever. Math isn't my strong suit. Anyway, I live in a non-smoking building so I have to step outside when I want to smoke. The first time I saw this guy, he was outside my building, sitting next to a dumpster. No big deal, probably just another neighbor I hadn't met. His name is Oz. The first time I saw Oz, I was having a cigarette outside, and he just glanced over at me every once in a while. But that's it. 2 days later, it's like 11:30 p.m. and I'm heading downstairs to smoke. I look at the lobby of the building and see someone underneath a blanket behind some chairs. I see a cord going behind the blanket bulge, so I immediately assume someone's in the doghouse for the night and charging their phone. I have my smoke, head back upstairs, and go to sleep. A week later, it's the middle of the day. I've gotten some work done and decided to take a smoke break. I go and sit outside like I always do. Oz is sitting outside as well. This time he's got some paperwork with him. A lot of paperwork. At this point, I feel like I should provide a description of Oz. He's about 6 feet tall, early to mid-30s. He has medium length hair that has been styled into dreadlocks. A full but short beard, if that makes sense.
That's the stream, I think. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Based on his face, he seemed like he cleaned himself up regularly, but his clothes made him look homeless, and sadly he was. So Oz is going over the paperwork in his hands when he looks over at me and says,